Hi, I'm Chris Primo, owner and instructor at Primo Guitar Studio. I'm here today to show you how to properly hold your pick. When first learning to hold the pick, I use this method. I teach my students to make an OK sign so that the tip of their thumb and the tip of their pointer finger are in a circle, and the remaining three fingers on their hand are out and relaxed. From there, what you want to do is take your thumb and slip it on top of that first knuckle, just like that. Okay? Leaving those fingers still out. You're going to take the pick and you're going to slide it in between those two fingers till the pick lines up, the top of the pick lines up with the side of the thumb, having the pointer finger go down the pick, pointing towards the point, and your remaining three fingers out. By having the pick against the side of your hand, you're able to move your wrist back and forth like this, actually rotating at the elbow to strum and pluck strings. Okay, by holding it like that, you're having to use this wrist joint, which is not what we want to do. That's going to lead to injury and tightness. You want your hand rotating at the elbow. The three most common mistakes I see people making when holding the pick, first is, this happens with children and people with small hands or sweaty fingers, is holding the pick with two fingers between the thumb and the tips of the finger. Okay. Like I said, this puts the pick so it's perpendicular to your wrist, which is not what you want. You want it parallel to your wrist so you can rotate back and forth. When people hold the pick like this, what I often see them doing is rotating their wrist to the side and then attempting to use their wrist like that to pick, which puts a lot of tension on the wrist and can lead to injury over time, and also just doesn't sound as good as rotating this way. This is much more loose and has more finesse. It sounds just better. The next most common mistake I see people making is putting their hand into a fist, like so, while holding the pick. This is going to severely limit your ability to turn your wrist back and forth because the muscles in your wrist are so tight and in your forearm and that you can't smoothly move back and forth, and you just don't have as much range of motion. By letting these fingers go out, I have a much greater range of motion and a much more relaxed, less likely to have tension and injury. The final most common mistake is people just holding the pick way too far out, like that. By holding at the end of the pick, you're going to A, drop the pick when you hit the strings, and B, your sound's just not going to be very good because the pick's flopping so far back and forth with each strike. You want some strength behind the pick, so holding it in the middle with about a ½ inch coming out like that. Like I said, with the thumb aligned with the top of the pick and the pointer finger going down the pick. So one problem that people have when initially learning to hold a pick is often losing the pick. They have grip issues. There are picks sold that have grip on the top of it. They're just little plastic ridges so that you have a little extra friction between your hand and the pick. If that's not working for you and you are having issues with the pick slipping out, what you can do is drill small holes in the middle of the pick with any household drill. That's just like a super version of the grip picks. It's going to give you a lot of friction so the pick won't slip. The final solution is, if none of that is working, there's a product called Gorilla Snot, which was originally developed for drummers to put on their sticks so the stick won't slip out of their hands while they're drumming, which, believe it or not, is a very common problem. You would apply it to the tip of your finger before you hold the pick, and it just acts as an adhesive so you can hold the pick better. So that's really the basics of holding a pick. It's intended for people just first gripping a pick for the first time. Just remember, make an OK sign, slide the thumb on top of the first knuckle, put the pick in between. I hope that helps y'all.